The Safeguards tab is where all of the safeguards are listed numerically. They all show up on this tab even though they're also shown in the PHA worksheets and in the LOPA worksheets. Once again, there is a many-to-many relationships between safeguards and the PHA scenarios and the LOPA scenarios. So each scenario can have multiple safeguards, and a single safeguard can be used in multiple different scenarios in a worksheet. The safeguards list is a way to summarize everything that's happening in the PHA worksheets and also in the LOPA worksheets. Now, if you look at the safeguards tab, you'll see three different buttons. One is for the safeguards list, which is associated with the PHA worksheets, and the other tab is IPLs for the IPL for the LOPA worksheets, and then you'll also have another button that deals with synchronizing with Vertigo, which we'll get to later because that is a premium feature of the software that's only available in the premium cloud-based version. Alright, so if I look at safeguards, you'll see that you're going to get a list. All the safeguards are automatically numbered. And again, on this list you have the description, the type, and the reference are shown. So you'll see that in this case, Safeguard 1 shows up in two different scenarios. So that again is showing you kind of the relational nature of these safeguards. So if I go back into where the reference comes from, so I go back to the PHA worksheet, I can see the safeguards that were listed. So number 1, number 2, 3, and 6 show up in this scenario, and it actually shows up in multiple causes within that scenario. So if I go back to the safeguards table, I also have the ability to customize what I'm viewing in the safeguards table, and that again goes from study data and column visibility. You can go look at your safeguards. Safeguard description and safeguard type are checked right now. I can also put something called safeguard hackable, which is a little bit more esoteric. That's something that comes into play when you're doing a security PHA review. So that attribute will tell you whether or not a cyber attack can compromise that safeguard. Essentially, is it inside a computer or is it just a dumb mechanical device? I'm going to leave that out for the moment. And also, you'll see the same set of features over here for IPL, and I'm going to go ahead and check the selected sill for when I do that. So I'm going to come back to the safeguard list. So you see the list of all the safeguards. Then if I go to independent protection layers, these are going to be associated with the LOPA scenarios, and you'll see that they are listed again here on the LOPA worksheet. So IPL1, IPL2 showing up in those LOPA scenarios. When I go back to the list, you'll see just kind of a listing without any repeats. So it gives you a really good list of what protection layers were credited during your study, because these are then going to need to be transferred into some sort of maintenance management system to make sure that they're followed up on, that they are specified correctly, that they're tested correctly, and that you have maintenance records for all the testing that performs for those independent protection layers. That transfer is going to be simplified if you're using the Open PHA with Vertigo, using Vertigo to track the design and performance of your independent protection layers. So you could simply type in a study name and what type of safeguard you would like to synchronize with that database. You can create a new one or update an existing study. But we'll come back to that when we get to the premium features, and we'll talk about this a little bit more.